At what age did you start training?
Officially, because I used to do a little karate, you know, when I was young. You know, my brothers used to wrestle, and then my other brothers used to do a split, and they be kicking. So I used to imitate everything, right? Officially, when I was in Nahlejj God, you know what I mean? Because I don't count like that in and out of martial arts, you go on the class here, or you learn some guy that's Jeet Kune Do over here, and then they making up their own. Like, I don't count that, but like we used to play karate. Like the game was called karate. Like, oh, let's play karate. Right. So that's really hard to say.
So it was always in you that, you know, you were always dealing with, but officially you said Nahlejj God.
Yeah, I said my teacher, you know, he showed and proved. I mean, it was a lot of different examples in Spanish Harlem. You had Apache Cruz. You had all these Wildcat Molina. You had all these dudes was nice for back then, you know. And they used to do kickboxing, and you know. So I used to go to those classes too. But my teacher, you know, he put me on that path, and I've been on it ever since.
What was it that he was talking about put you on that path, but what was it? How did he spark you to continue to, or inspire you to just keep going, like to just become a Sifu yourself?
Well, another part I didn't really say, and this is a little personal, but you know, my teacher is half paraplegic, right? And you know, he had an unfortunate situation happen at the hands of gun violence, and at the time he wasn't able to walk, he wasn't able to talk, he was in a coma, and he got himself out of it.
This is before he trained you?
Before he met me. And if you would have seen him, you would have not known that he knew martial arts. But because we have that keen eye, that third eye, to see things, you know, for what they are, I was able to tell that this man knew martial arts, and I asked him to teach me. You know, his children were proficient in acrobatics, and they were doing a lot of stuff, and you know, I knew he was the one. I knew he was the source. You know, he used to wear the Chinese the garb, the clothes. He used to have the Kuan Yin medallion emblems and stuff. And I was like, you know, martial arts. I'm like little, and I just like I had to pry it out of him and everything. Like, what's up, brother? Teach me. He was a black man, so I'm like, come on, brother, like. I know you know that, you know, and finally when he took me on as a student, like, you know, it was 100% real as far as like the stuff we had to endure, you know, and the training for the hours and hours a day. So you know, you can't waste nobody's time. Like, you ask somebody to teach you something and then be like, oh no, I got things to do. So we say what? Word is bond. So because I had knowledge of self, you know, and knowledge is what? I do not heard your word is bond, regardless of whom or what. And I shall give my word before my word. Word shall fail. So when I said I was gonna train with him, I just
committed.
I committed, yeah.
It was something in you, basically. So not something that you really saw in him. I mean, you saw something in him, but it's something that was already in you that you was committed to bringing out.
I definitely had to see something in him because the man, you know, like I say, he used to limp, you know, half his body, you know, like why didn't I train with the guy that moves like Bruce Lee or look like, you know? So I didn't take them on face value. I ain't train with somebody that looked like the Last Dragon. I train with somebody that, you know, something about this dude, right? And this is what knowledge itself helps you do. It helps you distinguish the real from the fake, you know? And even though he was in his, you know, and as he started training us, he started regaining his body functions, and we kind of training him. because he has to show us the moves. So it was an equal exchange on that level. But he like, why y'all want to learn from me? You know what I'm saying?
So it was a few of y'all
but it was me first, and then the God King, and then a bunch of other brothers came, right? So but the thing is that, you know, you being able to see that this man, you know, he possessed that magnetic, he got the information. I'm like, you know what? That's gonna be my teacher for years, months, and days. And I have a lot of teachers, but I have one teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like I have one enlightener that made the knowledge born. A lot of people spoke around me and said, and it was a peace God, but nah. It was one that made it clear, like, I understand what he's saying. And when I had a question, I went to that man. In the same way, when I had a question with anything, you know what I mean, I go to my martial arts teacher. I'm like, yo. So it's not easy. I mean, it might sound glamorous. Some people, oh, you're a martial arts teacher. Nah. You will be the greatest of all servants. Trying to call yourself a master.
Right, that right there is deep in itself. The greatest of all servants trying to be a master.
If Mecca did this.